Now it's on. Now good morning. Good morning again. So my talk today is titled, Only a Thought, ? For as he thinketh in his heart, so is he. Proverbs 23:7. Thought, colony of. Like attracts like. A thought will take up its abode in our consciousness with thoughts of like character. This law of attraction continues until combined thoughts make a colony. This colony of thoughts expresses itself in the cells of the body for good or ill. Thought power, the moving force within an idea that gives it expression. All structures are built by thought power. This power is transmitted from mind to mind and from mind to body in all living forms. The Revealing Word, Charles Fillmore. How many of you have that book? It's an old one. Do you have it, Dee? It is really wonderful because I love looking up just all the definitions, and how Charles Fillmore, how he phrases them. Here's my writing on it. Only a thought. There is something I found both humbling and amusing about myself. I have spent years studying and teaching that thought is creative. I have quoted Charles Fillmore. I have practiced five-step prayer and treated for others. I have witnessed what I can only call miracles when I have trusted the flow of life. Yet, way too often, I catch myself worrying. What if there is not enough? What if something goes wrong? What if? And then usually my husbands or sons will tell me, practice what you preach. How annoying is that? The real question is not, do I know what I say, or am I just repeating words? I guess the real question is, do I believe them deeply enough to live them? Every time I surrender fear and return to trust, life seems to open before me in extraordinary ways. Doors appear where there were only walls. People arrive at just the right moment. Resources show up when they are needed. Then somehow I climb back on the old wagon of worry. Unity teaches that consciousness is the creative cause of experience. We do not merely react to the world. We participate in creating the world we experience. If my thoughts become the lens through which I see life, then why would I ever choose fear over possibility? Why would I create an illusion of limitation when I could consciously create an experience of beauty, abundance, joy, and love? Perhaps the greatest spiritual practice is not learning a new truth. It is remembering, moment by moment, to live the truth I already know. Is it really only a thought? And now I'm going to repeat, I won't sing it, I promise, what you guys do here every week, because I can't get this out of my head ever. Our thoughts are prayers, and we are always praying. Our thoughts are prayers. Be mindful what you're saying. Seek a higher consciousness, a state of peacefulness, and know that God is always there, as every thought becomes a prayer. Boy, if that isn't one, I think Daniel Nahmad has a song very similar to that, and I can't remember exactly what it is offhand, but it's again about how our thoughts create our reality. And I've really been doing some deep thinking on this because, okay, I'm going to start at the beginning. Well, I love ChatGPT. I don't know if anyone else, who loves ChatGPT like I do? Okay, and I know some people hate it, but it's okay because I want to tell you what. We got a new printer the other day, and this was one heck of a printer to set up, and ChatGPT, with three days of it, we set it up. We said it, well, Chat did it, I followed. So I am very grateful for it. But it also finds me things that I am really looking for. And when I was writing here yesterday, I had a good talk about an idea about what I wanted to say today, but then I wanted to go a little further. And so I asked some questions to Chat, and it came up with this person, and I don't know if you've ever heard of him, Neville Goddard. Okay, great, because I had not heard of him until yesterday, and he was a great metaphysician. And I told Chat what I was talking about today, and I said I want some stories that would go with it. Well, this one just really cracked myself and my husband up, and I hope you like it too, because it's not only humorous, it is absolutely profound. So there was a man, and he knew he was dead. And he told his family, I'm dead. And they went, no, you're not dead. You're walking, you're talking, you're eating, you're sitting. He goes, no, I'm dead. You just don't see it. And whatever they said could not convince him that he was not dead. So finally, his wife made an appointment for him to go to the doctor. And he went to the doctor, and he said, I'm dead. And the doctor said, well, do dead men bleed? And he went, well, of course not. Everyone knows dead men don't bleed. So the doctor pricked his finger, and the man bled. And the man said, well, I'll be darned. Dead men bleed. Is that not the most profound story you could ever imagine? That is us. We take something and we plant it. So let's imagine a seed. How many of you have honeysuckle? Does honeysuckle grow in this area? I know in our area they try to cut it down. I think it's beautiful. I love it because it just naturally grows and you don't have to do anything to it. But you know how it just takes over? You get a little, or like we have a tree growing by our, I thought it was a weed for years, but it turns out it's a tree that's growing by our sun deck, but we have no idea what it is or where it came from. I mean, it just appeared and started to grow. So apparently some seed just kind of flew over and now there's this tree. So think about our thoughts. We're little people, and when we're little, we're like sponges. We soak up whatever we're told. You're a really bad boy. You're a really good girl. She had the best baby. The child never cried. I mean, maybe a good baby, but I don't think it's a normal baby because babies cry. What? So anyway, if we go back to that, so let's take it. We have this, we start to grow with these little seeds of who we are, whether we're beautiful or we're smart. Like I have friends, there's two of them, same situation. One of the sisters was the smart one, the other sister was the pretty one. And it's interesting, they both grew up to be in their roles that were defined for them by their parents, then their teachers, then someone else. I just heard another story, which is kind of awful for the smart kids, but where in education, they did this experiment where the kids that normally get the good grades, the teacher gave them bad grades, and the ones that got the bad grades, the teachers gave the good grades, and they did this for quite a while until eventually they switched roles. So, let's imagine this. And remember what I just read here about, let me find it real quick. The colony, thought, colony of, from Fillmore, a colony of thought. Keep that in your head. So now we have this underlying thought. I must be stupid because when I was in 3rd grade, my teacher said. So now, every time something happens that you don't do well, you've decided, well, of course, because I'm stupid. My teacher told me that. I'll give you a real life example. When I was 4 years old, 4 or 5, my mother put me in a dance class. Well, in Yiddish, there's a word called klutz. And boy, it's just like it is, klutz. It's just somebody who's so uncoordinated and just a mess, you know? So when she went to my recital, she said, "Oh, you're such a klutz. You don't know your right foot from your left." So for years, I thought I was a horrible dancer because at 4 or 5, I didn't know my right foot from my left, and I didn't like to dance because I was a klutz. It took until I was an adult, and I went to my niece's recital, and they were 4-year-olds. And none of the little girls knew their right foot from their left because we hadn't learned it. And then I decided I'm going to change this image. And I started doing Zumba. And what I realized, it was the biggest compliment I ever had. When we were on a cruise a while ago, there was an instructor that did salsa every day. And so I took that class because it was so much fun. And a lady came up to me at dinner and she goes, I just want to tell you, you're a really good dancer. I've watched you in class when we've had classes. And it was like, oh my God, I can't believe that someone actually said that. Because for all those years, this is what I saw. So, when we meet someone who seems like they're a really sunshiny, happy person, what they have done is they have cultivated certain thoughts. Now, what I found so interesting about what Neville Goddard was saying was like, okay, we lost our son. You all know that. And he took his life, and it was a traumatic. Every time I think about that night, I want to scream. And I was talking to Chat yesterday, and I said, somehow I would like to be able to reframe that night so I don't keep going into this, whatever you want to call it, trauma. And this is what Neville Goddard was talking about. You don't forget the incident, and you don't, I can't say my son didn't leave because he did. He's not here. But I can change how I react to that. And that's what we all can do. And we were in the art business, and I like to use this term also, reframing. We would reframe all kinds of art that people brought to us. I could take a print and totally change the matting and the frame, and the print looked totally different because we reframed it. So we can reframe that picture. I can look at it and say, that was the day that my son became peaceful. That was the day when my son went home. That was the day when my son's script played out. Because I believe we all come into this universe with a script that we play out and we act out as we walk upon this planet. And that it was decided. In some things that I've studied, it says we decided. We chose to come back in this incarnation into this particular setting. So when I look at it that way, and then I just want to share one other story. I'm not sure that it goes with this, but it was very profound. How many of you believe that your loved ones who have left send you signs? Does anyone? Okay, well, the other day, Thursday was my birthday, and I decided I was going, you see, you could have sung to me too, John, but don't. It was fun seeing you sing to yourself. I've never seen that before. But anyway, on Thursday, I said to my son, Sean, it's my birthday. Please send me a sign. I'd like to communicate with you today. So I go to work, and my boss said to me, it was like 1 o'clock, I was getting off at 3, do you want to go take your break now? I went, no, can I wait a while? She goes, sure. So I waited till like 2:15, because I like to wait till then it's almost over when I go back. So at 2:15, I'm sitting back there, looking through my phone, whatever, and this woman walks back, and she goes, hi, I'm Robin. Julie, my boss, she said, come back here and meet you. I'm going to be coming to work here. I went, oh my God, because our back room, you don't want to see it. But anyway, so we started talking. She goes, my last child is going to college. I said, oh, where are they going? Oh, they're going to Mizzou. I said, where'd they go to high school? She goes, Parkway South. I said, oh, our kids went to Parkway West. She goes, really? Well, I went to Parkway West too. I said, when did you graduate? She goes, I graduated in 93. I said, no, she graduated in 92. I said, oh, did you know my son, maybe Corey Bricker? He graduated in 93. She went, oh my gosh, I went to a junior high dance with him. He had a crush on me, and even though I was older, I went with him. And she goes, and I know your son, Sean, who's the one that passed away, and his wife. And I went, oh, did you know he passed away? She goes, I did, and I was devastated. I saw it on Facebook and whatever. He was the nicest guy, and we just hugged. And I said, I cannot believe that you walked in here, because hugging you, I could feel my son. It was just really weird. I said, we've got to go out there and tell Julie. So she went and told my boss this connection, and my boss said, and I have no clue why I let you go in that back room. I never let anyone go unaccompanied. And if I had taken my break earlier, I would have maybe seen the woman walk in, but I would have never had this conversation. What are the odds that I ask for a message and hear someone who knows him randomly that walks in? And I went, oh, my thoughts are prayers. And I am always praying. So I want to end with my poem, Only a Thought. My mind is working day and night in times of peace and times of fright. I realize I am always thinking about something. Perhaps I should think about what those thoughts bring. Will they bring me joy or drudge up sorrow? Will I stay in the now or be in tomorrow or beyond, or maybe stuck in yesterday? Are my thoughts only harmless things, or a way to craft the life I desire to live, loving more, opening to give? Of myself to all in need, realizing thought manifests deed. Change my thinking, change my mind. Oh, the magnificent treasure to find. I have the power right within me to create my personal world, the world I would like to see. Now that is a powerful thought, one that I ought to be thinking more, as it is the key to open the door of peace and light, gives me the wings to take flight, allows my heart to open wide, letting all the love inside. No, a thought is never just a casual thing. It will never fail to bring into existence what you thought about. I will be more careful, without a doubt. Since my thoughts are prayers, and I am always praying, I will be very careful with what I am saying. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. And now, let's just get ready to prepare for a short meditation. And get yourself comfortable, whatever that may feel like for you. Your hands in your lap, or letting them just hang. It doesn't really matter. All that matters is that you are comfortable. And as you sit, let your mind just wander. And let it open up into a picture of what you think about most of the time. Is it love? Is it peace? Is it beauty? Is it the kindness of the people that we meet each day? Is it the wonder of our Creator? That great source, that presence and power and glory that is good all of the time, regardless of what things look like, as they are simply illusions, appearances, things that pass away in time. But knowing the feeling that God is birthless, deathless, and changeless. And you, the magnificent creature that you are, is like God. As you too are birthless, deathless, and changeless. There is only life, transitioning from phase to phase as we move about, knowing that all of it is good. And as we sit, just feel your heart expanding with the love and joy of the people in this room and the presence of the Lord that is in this place. And knowing all of it is good, eternally. And now I ask that you begin to become aware of the sound of the beautiful music, and perhaps move your head a little and shake out your hands and wiggle your toes. And when you are ready, gently open your eyes and notice something in the room you have not noticed before.